W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. Net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA-BYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2417 with the release date of Friday, February 23rd, 2024 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Alabama police remain baffled over broadcast tower's disappearance. Hams in the UK and Australia adjust to new amateur regulations and meet one net where members are trafficking in puns. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2417 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
For our top story this week, we return to Jasper, Alabama, where a broadcast tower mysteriously disappeared in early February. For now, that mystery remains. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, gives us a closer look.
As police in Jasper, Alabama continue to puzzle over the apparent disappearance of a 200-foot radio tower, listeners bemoan the loss of the AM station that has been the mainstay of the metropolitan Birmingham area since it first went on the air in 1957. A recent report in the New York Times quoted longtime listeners as praising WJLX, the sound of Walker County, as being a trusted voice carrying information, storm warnings, traffic reports, and sports scores. The voice went mysteriously silent from AM as the theft of its tower was reported in a case that has baffled local authorities and cast doubts for many, including the police, as to what really happened. The absence of an AM station also prevented the broadcaster from keeping its FM counterpart on the air in compliance with FCC regulations. The station's programming was carried only online until iHeartMedia provided one of its HD3 channels on the broadcaster's WDXB station in Birmingham. According to a report in Radio World, iHeart received the FCC's approval, and the broadcaster is now providing a signal to the WJLX FM translator on 101.5 MHz. Meanwhile, concerns remain over the fate of its AM outlet. The station has begun raising funds by establishing a GoFundMe page. The station manager, Brett Elmore, is quoted in the New York Times as asking, "Who in the world steals a radio tower?" Jasper police and listeners are asking the same question. For now, not quite a month later, there are unproven theories, but as Newsline went into production, there are still no answers. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
In California, Girl Scouts who were involved in the planning and design of an amateur radio station finally got to use it on Thursday, February 22nd, in a 10-minute contact with the International Space Station. Unlike many of the typical ARISS contacts that have been made using a telebridge station, this was a direct contact from the station created at Girl Scouts headquarters in California. The girls were involved in its creation from the start with help from the River City Amateur Radio Communication Society and Girl Scout Heart of Central California, coordinated by Jen Garland, KI1TTY. The girls' instruction provided a look at Ham's emergency response roles and, of course, a possible career as an astronaut. In other news about the ISS, the onboard packet radio digipeater resumed activity on 145.825 MHz as of the 15th of February. Additional digipeater access is expected to become available starting on March 1st with the launch of 2 new ham radio satellites. Germany's Sonat-2 and CrowCube from Croatia. Both satellites are on educational missions. Sonat-2 from the University of Würzburg has a CW beacon and an SSTV transmitter in addition to the digipeater. CrowCube has a similar configuration, however, it will use an experimental SSDV downlink and have the capacity to send anniversary and special occasion messages via AX.25 and CW. Hams in the UK have begun experiencing the first of many sweeping changes Ofcom has made to licenses and the licensing process. Jeremy Booth, G4NJH, tells us more.
With the first rule changes from Ofcom having come into effect on the 21st, the regulator will send out a new license document to all UK operators no later than autumn of this year. As reported earlier, Ofcom's new rules not only simplify the license process, but permit ham radio equipment to be operated under the supervision of a licensee. Regional secondary locators have also become optional. Ofcom has also raised the maximum power hams can use on most of the bands. The regulator has promoted the changes to give amateurs what it calls, quote, freedom to innovate. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
Likewise, Australian hams are settling into some new license changes too. John Williams, VK4 JJW, brings us up to date.
Changes have taken effect in Australia on the assignment of amateur radio licenses. On the 19th of February, the change was made to a class license system, meaning that the Australian Communications and Media Authority is no longer renewing non-assigned amateur licenses. Although assigned apparatus licenses are still required to operate a repeater or a beacon, all other amateur operations are now covered by the new system. Hams surrendering their non-assigned amateur licenses renewed in the last few months may be eligible for a refund from the ACMA. Most hams in Australia needed to take no action to complete their transition to the new class license, which is issued free. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
An island de-expedition by Indian amateurs successfully tested the DX capabilities of an important VHF repeater on the mainland. Jim Meechan, ZL2 VHF, has those details.
A strategically located VHF repeater in India was put to the test over the weekend of February 18th during a Beaches on the Air de-expedition that reached 27 countries on SSB from Henry's Island. The island location is significant because it is located in the Sundarbans Reserve Forest, an area in Bengal that is prone to violent cyclones and from time to time in need of emergency radio support. A 6-member team of hams from the West Bengal Radio Club made the QSOs while studying the changes in propagation that occur during the seasonal change from winter to summer. Although the hams are proud of the DX contacts they made during the weekend, they are prouder still of the successful connection they can rely on from the island to the VHF repeater located atop the highest building in Kolkata. It fulfilled a very practical, life-saving objective, maintaining contact from a region that is imperiled when disaster strikes. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
A prominent radio amateur in the New York area of the ARRL has become a silent key. The death of Bill Hudzik, W8VPV, past vice director for the ARRL's Hudson division, was reported on Facebook and in an ARRL newsletter by Nomar NP4H, the division director. Bill had stepped down as vice director of the ARRL Hudson division on February 1st, 2022. He had told fellow amateurs at the division awards luncheon that his decision was based on having been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Bill was originally appointed to the post of vice director in 2011 following the retirement of Frank Fallon, N2FF. Bill had a reputation for representing ham interests in legislative matters in New Jersey, including advocacy for amateurs and gaining an exemption from a state law that bans cell phone use by motorists. Bill had previously served as ARRL's Northern New Jersey section manager. He had been a ham since 1961. No other details were immediately available. NASA's Crew 8 astronauts have had to wait a little longer for their launch, but the space agency gave them a good reason. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, explains.
The launch of a robotic lunar lander has delayed the departure of SpaceX's 8th crewed operational mission to the ISS. NASA's Crew 8 astronauts include Matthew Dominic, KC0TOR, the commander, Michael Barrett, KD5MIJ, the pilot, and Jeanette Epps, KF5QNU, the mission specialists. They are to be accompanied by mission specialist and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Grabinkin. Their date with the launch pad was moved from the 22nd of February to no earlier than the 28th, when they will be aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon as part of NASA's Commercial Crew program. Meanwhile, the robotic lander, known as Odysseus, nicknamed Odie, lifted off on February 15th and is expected to become the first private spacecraft to land on the moon. It was built by Intuitive Machines, a company based in Houston. The U.S. has not touched the surface of the moon since the Apollo 17 mission in 1972. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the amateur radio newsline heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the Tri-Town Radio Amateur Club, W8VPV in Homewood, Illinois, as part of the Wednesday net at 8 p.m. local time. Looking for a way to get ready for hurricane season? Randy Sly, W4XJ, is here to give us one option.
We're approaching that time of year when the National Weather Service begins Skywarn spotter training in the U.S. for the start of hurricanes and other storms of spring and summer. Lloyd Colston, KC5FM, told Newsline that in his area of the United States, Wichita, Kansas, as well as the Norman and Tulsa, Oklahoma weather forecast offices have already announced their upcoming classes. He said preparation is an important and serious undertaking.
You can be aware or you can be scared. The National Weather Service offers training locally and virtually, so you can be aware.
Christopher Strong, warning coordination meteorologist for the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. Weather Forecast Office, told Amateur Radio Newsline that hams can play a big part in being, quote, weather aware by knowing what threats are possible, unquote. Amateur radio operators not only need to keep our equipment ready to go, but also keep our training up to date. You can attend spotter training online or find out about classes in your area by visiting weather.gov. Then locate your local office by entering your zip code in the search box. When you find your local office, look for the Skywarn link. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
The window is closing to submit names of candidates for an award that honors the open, innovative spirit of ham radio. LMB-KB3TZD tells us how to apply.
Now in its 5th year, the Amateur Radio Software Award recognizes the contributions that free, open-source software has made to enhance the experience of ham radio. The International Awards judges are now in search of this year's recipient from anywhere in the world. Last year's winner was Stephen Loomis, N0TTL, whose development of Grid Tracker has helped ham simplify the tracking of contacts by visualizing radio traffic on such modes as FT8. Early winners were David Rowe, VK5DGR, for his Codec 2 project, which gives digital voice communications access to other software and hardware projects without the need for licensing, fees, and other concerns. Jordan Scherer, KN4CRD, and his project JS8 Call won the award in 2021, and the first award recipient was Anthony Good, K3NG, for the K3NG Arduino CW Keyer. In addition to receiving the award, winners are also celebrated later in the year with a special event station calling attention to the innovative spirit they represent. For details, visit arsaward.com. Deadline is the 29th of February. This is Salembi, KB3TZD.
Behind every achievement of a young DX chaser, there is at least one mentor who has cheered them on with moral support and technical guidance. Working quietly behind the scenes, these seasoned hams become big achievers too. Now these Elmers are getting a moment in the sun, as well as we hear from Newsline's newest correspondent, Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
The DX Century Club Award is a top amateur radio honor that recognizes hams who have confirmed contacts with 100 entities. Now those hams who have guided younger achievers on their journey to DXCC are in line for a top award themselves. A team of DX organizations is preparing to give a Mentor Recognition Award this May at the annual DX dinner, which coincides with Hamvention in Xenia. To qualify for the award, mentors must have assisted a DX chaser who is under the age of 30. Applicants will be reviewed by a judging committee made up of representatives from the Southwest Ohio DX Association, the Northern California DX Foundation, and the International DX Association. For an application form, send an email to thedxmentor@gmail.com. This is Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
In the world of DX, listen for the Intrepid DX Group's DXpedition to Pigeon Island, IOTA number OC-065, from the 22nd of February to the 7th of March. The team will be operating CWSSB and FT8 in Fox and Hound mode on 160 through 6 meters. There will be as many as 6 stations operational. Watch the team's Facebook page for updates. See QRZ.com for QSL details. You have until the 26th of February to work Chuck KC4KQE, who is on the air as TF/KC4KQE from Iceland. He is operating SSB and FT8, activating several POTA and SOTA locations during daylight hours. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Timo OH1NA will be operating holiday style as 3B8/OH1NA from Mauritius, IOTA number AF049, from the 25th of February to the 7th of March. He will operate CWSSB, FT8, and FT4. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for Nabi G0VJG, operating holiday style as 5H3VJG, from Zanzibar Island, IOTA number AF032, Tanzania, from the 7th to the 20th of March. He will be using mainly SSB with some CW and FT8. He is expecting to operate in the RSGB Commonwealth contest on the 9th and 10th of March. See QRZ.com for QSL details. We end this week's report by putting the spotlight on a new net as part of our occasional series, Nets of Note. Newsline visits this week with a startup net for hams who take radio seriously enough to know there's also a time for laughter. As Ralph Squilacci, KK6ITB, tells us, this is no joke, or is it?
The multi-mode digital network known as the QuadNet Array doesn't just unite fans of D-Star, DMR, and C4FM fusion. Starting next month, a new mode will be added to the mix once a week. Pun mode. Pun mode is neither digital nor analog, and it's not the exclusive practice of ham radio operators. Hams who have a reputation for groan-inducing wordplay now have a refuge in which to practice their craft. The Pun in Life Net is starting up on the QuadNet Array beginning on Saturday the 2nd of March at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. The net control and punster-in-chief is Daryl Stout, N5VLZ, a past participant in the World Championship Pun-Off held every May at the O. Henry Museum in Austin, Texas. Humor must conform to the on-the-air standards of decency, and because this is a digital mode, and the only QRM you are likely to hear are the loud groans from everyone else. Visit the website openquad.net to check it out before you check in. Daryl is hoping for a big enough crowd to make this a pun-in-a-million experience. This is Ralph Squilacci, KK6ITB.
Don't forget the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. If you're not too busy tuning your antennas or chasing the latest DXpedition, pick up a pencil and share. You can accept any entries that aren't written in traditional haiku form. With thanks to the Amateur Radio Software Award, AMSAT News Service, Australian Communications and Media Authority, Amateur Radio Daily, ARDB, DX World, 425 DX News, NY Times, Ofcom, QRZ.com, Radio World, shortwebradio.de, Southwest Ohio DX Association, West Bengal Radio Club, Wireless Institute of Australia, Worldwide DX, YouTube, and you, our listeners. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York and our news team worldwide, I'm Stephen Kinford, NAWB in Wadsworth, Ohio, saying 73, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 10 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is Frank. My call is W8EZT, but for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All radio amateur operators are invited and encouraged to sign in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This Net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We'll start with some announcements and then ask for check-ins with from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that's complete, we'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time. I'll confirm that I've got yours, then move on. We'll go back, work those. When I'm done, we'll take another 5 and repeat until we run out of calls. And actually, when it starts to really taper off, we'll go back to 1 at a time. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call, repeat it phonetically, followed by your name and location. All right, when all check-ins are worked, we'll close the net by repeating the announcements. And I also want to make sure everybody is aware that we run an HF plus 6 band exploration net starting at 9:30 p.m. this evening. This will be on 80 meters at 3.827 or lower sideband or thereabouts in terms of megahertz. We have to move around for QRM. We will announce it on this repeater, the 27 side, just before the net starts. All right, some quick announcements. This Wednesday is our activity meeting. This is at Pilgrim United Church of Christ, downtown Cuyahoga Falls, Broad and 2nd Street. Guests are always welcome. We will have more information and a discussion on proposed changes to the club and the way the meetings are. Going to try to maybe make it a little bit more interesting and have a lot more activities and things for the members to be interested in. Then we've got a presentation by Anthony. There'll be hands-on activity regarding using tunable SDRs. There's 70-plus software-defined radio receivers around the world accessible via the internet, and you can sit down with your computer and access one. Anthony says bring an internet-capable device to the meeting, maybe some headphones or earbuds, and he'll find also instructions at tiny.cc/freerx. That's all lowercase. All right, pause for a second. Newsletter articles are due. If you have anything you want to add to the newsletter, please finish it up and send it in to newslettereditor@cfarc.org in the next couple of days. I think the end of the month is when it's due. And then coming up, we've got the March business meeting on 3/13. That's a Wednesday. We're going to formally propose changes to the Constitution and bylaws to change the way that we're operating, get away from the boring business format and get some more interest and activity going. We're going to need a quorum, though, to do this, and then we're going to need a quorum the subsequent month to pass it. So we're looking to boost our average attendance by a couple here. Attendance can be, by the way, in Zoom or in person. All right, that's really all I have for announcements. Let me turn around. Does anybody have any announcements of general interest to the club? Come now.
W8VPV.
Go ahead, John, W8VPV.
Yeah, good evening, Frank, and all on the net. This is W8VPV. The volunteer sign-up sheet for the April 13th Hamfest is now available, and we need volunteers for Friday evening starting at around 6 p.m. to help set up the tables and chairs, and also to help with vendors who are coming in for setup that evening. And then we also need volunteers early Saturday morning for helping vendors get to their assigned tables, and also for taking cash for the tickets and so forth. And we need somebody to have somebody to run the mobile check-in station. With that, back to the net. This is W8VPV.
Thank you, John. I will make sure I mention that when we wrap the net up as a closing announcement also. I certainly will be there. I'll go sign up as soon as I get done with the net here, and we need your help this year. This is the club's big money-making event. A lot of planning has gone into it, and we need help to make it happen and come to a fruition. So Club members and even volunteers and friends of club members, we can use you. All right, do we have any other officers, trustees, or members with information and announcements for the club?
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
All right, go ahead, Vince.
It's that time of the month, as the women say. It's time to get your newsletter articles in. So think about it. Otherwise, you'll get to listen or read my drivel. Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar, back to that. Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Vince. I checked you and John both in also. Do we have any other people with announcements of general interest? Right then, without further ado, let's start taking check-ins. This is W8VPV looking for check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night Net.
AD8YAX.
88YAX. I've got you, Forrest. Stand by. I'll get right back to you. Next, please.
NH Mark and Akron, in and out.
Okay, N8NH, in and out. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you stopping by. Next.
Kilo Echo 8, Yankee Tango Golf, in and out.
KE8YTG, also in and out. Appreciate that. Next.
KHMS.
Steve, next.
KE8ULA.
Got you in there, Leo. Next.
KE8BSA, in and out, please.
Great, got you in and out there, Keith. Good hearing you. We'll have to talk. We wanted to get you involved in the GOTA station again this year. We'll talk to you later. Next, please.
WA8RCN.
All right, Jim, I got you then. All right, let me head back to the top of the list. Forrest, go ahead, sir. How are you doing this evening? YAX, you still in there, Forrest?
Hear me? I don't have anything to add. I should have said in and out.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, we got you in and out then. Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by, Forrest. Let's see, next two are in and out. Steve, K8HMS. How you doing this evening?
Yeah, okay, Frank. I'm on the 440 side. You got a copy on me all right?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear, Steve.
Okay, wow, that's good to know. Yeah, and you guys are coming in loud and clear. And, yeah, not much to say, just enjoying this nice weather. And, yeah, hearing Jim up there, RCN, I saw where his house was. I went by the other night, so all this nice weather, Jim, get them antennas up. Hi. So that's about it, and we'll see you on wherever the next net is, KHMS.
All right, Steve, it'll be 9:30 on 80 meters, 3.827 or somewhere thereabouts, wherever I can find a slot to fit it in. But thanks for stopping by then. KE8ULA, good evening, Leo. How you doing?
Good evening, Frank, and everyone on the net. Yeah, so I was just, my better half reminded me that tonight's garbage night, so I grabbed the HP and came outside to do my chores out here. Thought I'd jump on and just say hello to everyone. KE8ULA.
Great, very good. It is trash night here, too. When I get off the air, I've got some bins I got to run out there, so appreciate the reminder. Coming through loud and clear for an HT, so you must have a good signal and maybe be near the repeater. All right, Keith was in and out. Next was Jim, WA8RCN.
Hey, Frank, how you doing? W8VPV, W8RCN, and say hi to everybody in the net. Good evening, and yeah, a little early yet, Steve. I've been screwing around fishing back in L.A. trying to get these. I got big crappie in there, like 16 inch, trying to get those out of there, and
Boy, you think I can catch one of them. I know I got them because I've seen a couple dead ones in the spring every year, and ended up catching, if you can believe this, a 22-inch walleye out of that lake in the backyard. Previous owner stocked walleye and perch in there, and there's everything else under the sun in there too. So that water is only 40 degrees though; it's cold. So. All right, that's been outside doing some work outside and some fishing, and as long as this weather keeps up, we can get a lot of the stuff cleaned up early so I can start working on a tower, Steve. Okay, back to you, Frank. W8VPV, W8RCN.
Very good, Jim. Boy, that's almost heaven. A tower on one side and a stocked pond with walleye yet on the other side. You're living it big. Very good. Well, congratulations, then, and good fishing to you. All right, I'm at the bottom of the list. Let's see who else is out there. This is W8VPV, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club, Monday night, VHF UHF net.
KPU.
That's you, Larry. Next.
KVI.
Back Romeo, KE8R.
Okay, I got KE8 KVI, and there's somebody else overlapped with that last station. Go ahead.
Yeah, Frank, it's KE8 TQR, Keith in Uniontown.
Good, got you, Keith. Next. Got you, Mike. Appreciate you stopping by. One more, we'll go back to the top.
KE8YIR, Mark and Hudson, in and out. Good evening, Frank.
Got you in there, in and out, Mark. I heard somebody else in there underneath. Go ahead, other station. I heard somebody else in there underneath KE8YIR. Would the other station come back? We'll head back to the top of the list here and see what we got at the bottom. Larry, go ahead, sir. How you doing?
Sorry. Lost my mic. I was looking all over for it. Laid it down. Oh, not bad for an old guy, Frank. Say evening to you and everybody on the net. Enjoying this weather, like Steve said. This is just a gift, to have this kind of weather. Well, the whole month of February. I mean, the kind of Februarys I remember. Not like this. I like this. You did the V session yesterday, right?
Yes, I did.
Me for a standby. KEBRAN. Brian Lee Masters. Did he upgrade? Do you know?
I remember the name Lee Masters, so he was in there doing something. I don't remember specifically what test or what he did, but yes, there was a Lee Masters in there.
I wasn't there. For sure, that's my nephew. He's gone from tech to general, and I haven't seen him for quite a few years, but I would have liked to have maybe been, I would have had to step back from him, but I'm just waiting to see if he upgraded. Pretty sure it's my nephew, and would have been good to see him. Okay, I can't do the 80 thing, so I'll have to punish all you guys by seeing you Wednesday evening at the meeting. So back to you, Frank. W8VPV, KPU.
Real good, Larry. Good hearing you in there, and look forward to seeing you at the meeting Wednesday. And yeah, the weather, I know we're supposed to have some cold weather, but as one of those people I guess you have to call old anymore, I can't complain about it. It was nice to get out there today and get some stuff done in the yard and not have to be bundled up head to toe. But we'll pay for it this summer with ticks and bugs and insects and hornets and wasps and all those things that normally get killed off in the winter. Oh well, 'tis what it is. All right, next up, Ron, KE8 KVI. Go ahead, sir.
Not a whole lot to
say was outside doing a little bit of yard work and enjoying what I think this is the third spring of the year so far. It's Ohio, so we have several. But other than that, no major technical issues, and Beth ran off and she's up at a concert with Melinda now, so I'm alone here, cold and alone with a beagle to keep me company.
You have a beagle and another min pin there to keep you buddy, so very good then. Yeah, third spring of the year so far, that's about right too. But very good then. Good hearing you there, Ron, and we'll catch you down the page. KE8TQR, next up, Keith, go ahead.
W8VPV, KE8TQR. Good evening, Frank. Good evening to the rest of the group here on the net. The news I have tonight is I have made it onto HF in the last week here, and I have been strolling through different nets, 80, 40, 20, 12, 10, and I got on Wolverine net on 80 meters. I did some talking to some friends on 40, and actually made a contact with the North Carolina QSO party. It was a special event. They were on board the USS North Carolina for their special event, so I got in there. And I am having fun. I'm doing a lot of listening because I'm still not happy. Well, okay, maybe it's just me. I'm not too sure yet. I'm actually tuning up the Nye Viking the way it should be, but I guess with a little more practice, I'm going to get better at it. So I do want to be in on the 80 meters tonight. I think I've got it tuned up correctly, so I should be there, Frank, and hope to hear everybody. And I will send it back to you, Frank, at net control. This is KE8TQR, J23, and God bless.
Very good, Keith, and yes, welcome to HF. It's a huge step up in band capability, and I'm glad you're on the air and you got that station up and running, and we'll definitely look forward to you. We're going to be somewhere near 3.827 megahertz. 80 in winter, and this is still winter, is a very popular band in the evening, so sometimes it's hard to find a slot. We could be as much as 10 kilohertz one way or the other, but we're going to start there, and I will make that announcement on this repeater about 2-3 minutes before the net begins as to what frequency I've got open, and hopefully we'll be able to hold it. It'll be a fairly quick net. There'll only be maybe 5-6 people, so very good. Congratulations, and again, welcome to getting on HF. That's often a lot of fun. All right, last two, we're checking in and out, so I'm at the bottom of my list. We'll start taking people one at a time. Do we have any more check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club? But I can't say it tonight. Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio, Monday night net.
Echo 8, Uniform, India Bravo, KE8, UIB, John and Matt Thorne.
All right, John, got you. How you doing this evening?
Doing good. Just doing some net searching stuff. Thought I'd check in and say hello.
All right. Well, I'm sure the weather's treating you as good as it is up here. Unfortunately, stand by. It is about to change from everything I heard. Appreciate you stopping by, and don't be a stranger. Somebody here every Monday evening. Next up, do we have any more check-ins? All right, real quick, we'll go over the announcements and look for any last check-ins and wrap this net up. Looks like it's going to be a small one tonight. Kind of a warm evening like this. People are enjoying the outside. There's no surprise there. It happens a lot. All right, coming up this Wednesday, February 28th, will be our activity meeting. We'll be discussing the changes that we are hoping we can do with the club in terms of making it a little more exciting, getting away from all these business meetings and all that stuff. We'll also have a presentation by Anthony Luscre, KZT. He'll be doing a hands-on activity using online tunable software-defined radios. There are 70-plus software-defined radios around the world. we'll be reaching out to them and listening to various signals. And it's a good way to have 3 or 4 people listen to different radios and see what the same signal sounds like in different locations on the planet. So bring hands-on web active device and maybe some headphones, and we'll have you on the air. There are instructions at tiny.cc/freerx. He'll be working with those. Newsletter articles are due. If you want to see something, if you have something you'd like to add to the newsletter, please get it out to newsletter editor at cfarc.org as soon as possible. March business meeting coming up March 13th. That's Wednesday. At that point, we want a quorum. We want to formally propose changes to the Constitution and bylaws that dictate the operating of the club. The attendance can be in Zoom or in person, but we do want to hit a quorum there. And lastly, we need volunteers to sign up for our Ham Fest. You do not have to be a club member, but we've got a Ham Fest coming up April 13th. We need volunteers to help at the event with everything from guiding vendors to their seats, checking people in, operating the check-in station, checking tickets, selling tickets, the whole works. Without your help, this would not happen. So please consider helping and volunteering. There's a sign-up site on our webpage. That's cfarc.org. All right, that's all the announcements I have. Let's see if there's anybody last out there. Do we have any more check-ins for W8VPV, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club, Monday night, VHF UHF net? All right, hearing none, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Excuse me, please. Let's see here. In preparing to close this net, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been my privilege, Frank, W8ECT. It's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 16 check-ins, myself included, and we turn this repeater to normal and customary amateur radio use. Keep in mind, we will have our HF plus 6 band exploration net tonight on 80 meters at 3.827, starting at 9:30, and we'll announce the frequency in case there's somebody on the designated frequency. We will announce the actual frequency on this repeater about a minute, 2 minutes before the net. All right, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 8:53 p.m. Thanks for your attendance.
W8VPV. Repeater TL110.9. W8VPV. Repeater
Glad to hear it. You had a big crowd tonight, or just getting ready to kick it off? There's a pretty good crowd in here. They ain't acting too good. Hey, good evening. Is that Mr. Bobby? That's right. Hot dog. I just been talking to Hazelwood, and I think he's on here too, and just been spinning around about, checking some folks out, but I don't know. I want to do some AM. I guess I could. In the amplifier, it'll be easy, and I'll figure it out, get that fixed, and then I got these ornamental grasses that get about 5 foot high all around my well out there, and at some point in time, I'm supposed to get up to 60 tomorrow. I would like to, I got a hedge trimmer, and that's how I discovered I could cut those damn things off close to the ground. Just tie them up with in a big thing with baling twine, and get down there and cut them off at the base, and then take them down and throw them in the big pile. Yeah, Roger. Got to do that once a year. Should have done it back in early February when it was nice and warm, but supposed to hit 60 tomorrow, and I think maybe I'll get started on it anyway.
That should work good. 60 ought to work real good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a little windy, but could be worse.
Oh yeah, could be a lot worse.
Yeah, and how warm is it supposed to be down there, Al?
Oh yeah, tomorrow we're going to be up close to 70. I think it was 68, 69, somewhere in that area.
You get your parts ordered for the pool?
I did that tonight. I just finished doing that a couple hours ago.
From Amazon?
Yeah, Roger.
Oh, it'll be along to you pretty soon then.
Oh yeah. They said they'd have me here by March 1st.
Yeah, they said March, what the hell was it? The 3rd to the 6th or something like that on that hole punch, and damned if it didn't show up today.
You never know with those people. You never really quite know.
Boy, that guy's wide is back on again.
Roger.
You wouldn't dare tell him that, though.
He wouldn't believe you if you did. My God, I can't believe it. I'm watching him do it. Holy crap.
There he is.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he's pretty wide on my scope, too.
I wouldn't want to do that to an amplifier.
Let him just sit down there and blow and go. I guess he wouldn't listen if you did.
Oh, well, it's probably one of the Kentucky boys.
Roger. Well, you know, I looked at my waterfall from 3804, or actually about 3803, all the way up to
Southwest Airlines, who it was. They went tearing off down the runway, popped up over the trees, and that angle he was going at, kind of looked like he was turning himself into a rocket ship. He looked like he was trying to go straight up into the air, and then all of a sudden you could see the nose of the airplane dip down a little bit. And all of a sudden,
how can they even talk that way?
Down off into wherever he was going this morning.
Each other, so,
but
oh well.
Talking about airplanes, it was one thing I saw. Kind of funny. I thought for sure that airplane was just
the language older on, you talking about 3810? That and down to 3800, yeah, there's swath in there, it's just a mess.
But it's always good to have the backup system. You still have to pay somebody to keep an eye on the controls.
We need a 7.200 on 75 meters.
Whatnot. A whole lot less people get hurt that way. But the autonomous trucks, I just don't foresee it happening. You got too many things that are a factor in trying to implement that. You got bad weather on roads.
You know, if they do their thing and they stay there, I don't care.
Road conditions, yada, yada, yada.
I don't care. If they want to do that crap up there and take a chance on getting caught and fined.
There's a backlog. Let me pause for a quick nickel.
Go right ahead. Have a ball. Just stay right there.
What's out of it? KC3 QFC returning. Now, there is one section that I could see being autonomized in the trucking industry,
so
and that is a yard jockey's position.
Well, 6300 has got two receivers in it, and each receiver could have two different frequencies on at the same time.
Completely autonomized.
So he could have four different, on different bands too. He could have four different frequencies going all at the same time. And well, that's what I need is 4 times the amount of noise I've got now. Oh, goody.
I can see them implementing
this one will do too.
Like warehouses.
Yeah, this will do. I can do another receive
but outside
vehicle.
of that, there's too much of a risk to try to implement autonomous trucks. KC3 QFC over to NPD.
And it'll split too.
Kilo 2 Italia.
Haven't learned how to use it yet. It'll do it.
Who was it? Was it Pete was saying, somebody was saying that I talked to recently, I think it must have been Pete, that said that, yeah, sure it was, that when they were developing the 6000 series at Flex, they were
but when you're out in the middle of
working with ICOM, the engineers were talking back and forth and working with ICOM, and that's why the ICOM now stuff is getting so similar to a lot of the features are so similar to the Flex, and they work together in collaboration, I guess.
Under control. In a truck on the road, so that makes a lot of sense.
You got your other slice going on.
They said, the airplanes, they already do it, but, they got somebody there just in case. I used to work in a
Are they screaming at each other?
And a lot of stuff was automated, but there was always somebody, an engineer there, somebody there when something fails, and something does fail generally, at some point, there's somebody there to put everything back on the track and keep it running. And that's, sacrificing that just to make a few extra dollars, just as you said a little earlier, doesn't seem to set right with me.
I was set on 3806, that's slow scan, I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to let you guys go at it. I'm going to get ready to turn in tonight. It's 9/11.
I just went down and listened. I didn't hear nothing.
My wife, who passed away quite a few years ago, she used to be a 9/11 operator. So this is my special time of the day. I'm going to get wrapped up here and turn in so I can get ready to head out to Lodi tomorrow morning in about 12 hours. So you be safe out on the road there, Mike. I heard you make a call, wanted to pick you up.
I'm not sure what that is on
the Tesla company out there. I'll throw it over to Real Big Guns. This is MTAT MSA 73 Easy guys. We'll zone out for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
3806, low scan.
Roger.
Well, I hate that you're leaving on my account. I just
they do it on 14.2, what is that, 220, 240, 260, somewhere up in there.
I was having a problem getting connected.
It used to be just a bunch of guys sending pictures back and forth to each other. Yep.
Say hi to her, but then I heard you all come in there, and I was like, oh, well. But, yeah, I guess if you gotta head off, I'll say 73 to you. Hope you have a wonderful evening and get some good.
It's progressed.
AC5RBG.
Well, up on 440, they're even running color now, live.
I didn't even hear you jump in there, Shannon. I had no idea you were there. First of all, we'll say 73s to NTAD. Pleasure talking to you. Appreciate you coming back. But I agree everything there.
There's an old guy over here.
One small comment, if they were going to economize
ways, actually. It's over in Lansing, and I met him and bought a heat sink from him once.
Getting away with one person.
He's running 1296.
As of right now,
I said, what the Sam hell do you want to be up on 1296 for? He says, because I can.
Just saying. Anyways, you take care of yourself in Lodi. I know where that is. Been there many a time. Rode by there many a time.
Oh, yeah. Well, this guy, I don't know what all this guy was doing. But he said, well, we don't get quirmed up there. I'll bet not.
A little special person like I call her the better half. I have KE2BZX, KC3GSA.
KE2BZX. Yeah, I made,
That is a damn good point, though.
those.
Yeah,
I'll
but you're
make
not going to get far. You can
tomorrow.
talk across town. That's
All
about
day
it.
doing it right now. It's a lot of work. All that rolling and mixing and that's just too
Speaking
much.
of, we came back from the movie last night, and at the end of the road, just slightly off at the end of the road, was the moon, and that thing looked like the harvest moon. It was just coming up over the,
where the controllers go, but I forgot to close the lid.
horizon there.
So she's in there sleeping right now.
Man, that thing was huge. It looked like a harvest moon. I'd never seen that in the spring.
BZX.
I can do a little bit of cleaning and then, I had this little high setup
No kidding.
for quite some time, but I never could find any place to, actually use it. So, that's what I did tonight was set up on my little TV tray here.
You can set up the ratios on there and
Get it all to work. I think I'm going to have to...
It's got what, little DC motors or stepper motors in it, or what?
Roger, Roger.
Oh my God.
That's a pretty exotic scope. My kids got it from me. Oh gosh, I had it.
Probably going to figure out a different...
Oh, cool.
I don't know, 15 years or something like that. I got it just before it came down here. And I've used it.
That all sounds interesting. I tried to connect up to you once I got the mobile up and running. And for some reason, 253 is not allowing incoming connections. I've tried everything I could on my side there, but I could not get it to connect. So I don't know what's going on there.
As David says, needs more research.
I've been keeping an eye on it, and as far as I can tell, everything's back running normal. I am going to replace the
I got a
SD
telescope
card.
too, but it's not as sophisticated as yours.
Maybe
it
that'll
is set up
make
so you can
things
kind of track
run a little bit.
You have to do it manually.
Yeah, I can replace the SD card on that one. That one's my build. Almost forgot which one was which. I'm going to replace the SD card on that one and see if I can't get that one running a little bit better. Once I get a few bills paid off, I'm going to, now that the house is somewhat coming together, I'm going to get the home node running a lot smoother and get rid of that buzz. But it'll come eventually. Kilo Charlie 3, Quebec Berkshire Charlie. And that's it, sleeping in the center console. I wonder how long
we were camping
before
at the campground. One of the people said, we were laying there
wait till they figured out how to
on
open
the shore and looking up at the stars and away from all the lights of the town, and holy mackerel, you talk about seeing stars. So anyway,
hopefully to do it during a scary movie.
Here comes our friend. That's the right time of night.
Anyway,
the lady said, well, you know, and she looked at her watch and she said, right about now we should be able to see the space station. I went, oh, bullshit. Sure enough, you can actually see it.
Thumbnails on the phone there, and I noticed change from when I left to what it is now. See what it's like when I get home.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, right time of night for this turkey.
Is he that strong up there? Because when
there may be dishes and pots and pans still in the hallway
He hits peaks of minus 65.
I get a big enough box and I can pile them all up in.
It has to be intentional because he does it exactly right here every night.
After recycling comes, I might just empty that big box that we put in the hallway and use that big box for everything.
Oh, that's nothing.
Because I'm not going through it. I just put them all in the box.
Really?
And then whatever. With
Mine's 105.
I'm still looking up a few things on Amazon. Like I'm gonna look up new pot holders and stuff like that for the kitchen. In case soup, easy as.
Right now, we're the noise reduction. DNR switch.
Yeah, I had hoped this horizontal dipole would have been quieter than this. I doubled it. Just say again, Greg.
It said that mine does a pretty good job of killing that transmission.
I know all of us like get away from the radio for a while, or get away from communicating in general for a little while, but too long and I'm like.
I agree with you, except that NM9P says it's tunable and settable, and you can do a lot with it. Well, I haven't tried that yet, but I don't know. W8MX.
KE8YCW.
No, nothing's wrong. I know the last 3 weeks, maybe better part of that, her and I have been spending a lot of time dealing with the house, whatnot, replacing a bunch of things, building a bunch of new things. We got the living room back usable again, and I must say it looks really, really nice.
Catch you later, David. It's nice talking to you tonight. A little bit.
Spent on that.
Tell Gracie to have a good evening.
November 1, Charlie Whiskey K2, ICP.
Real nice.
Give Gracie a extra treat from me. She needs to get fattened up again. This W8MX. Good night, Dave. 73s, and well, if it's as nasty as they say it's going to be, I won't be in here either.
Roger that. This weekend.
I'm not dead sure about Wednesday night because they were saying this was a holdover even in through them.
Bit of this, bit of that. Upsetting a lot of people. Overturning some apple carts.
I understand.
And now this is back to the daily grind now this week. Last week,
nope. If I could take my down that easily and get it back up, I would. But last time I did that, I took the G port back up.
Freight just fell off. I never get dispatched. All week long.
Hey, Billy, you're off week just a little bit.
Nope. Got work? Nope. Got work? Nope. So, I got an extra
20 cycles off. I don't know how that happened. I must have bumped the mouse.
Although I'll probably cry about it on Friday when I see the lack of a paycheck. But, all well is good.
I did.
But, that's always been going on. And,
Roger.
Kicking around. I don't know if you rebooted 253 there. I don't want to tie up W8VPV. It's just going to be S3.
Está bien chévere, está bien nice eso. Envía a mi esposa ahí para que lo
I'll try to
mire.
get it connected back into your node there. And
I must be getting a little bit of an ear to it now. I'm learning.
KE2.
Did it come with a printed manual?
I'll take pictures of the living room
What's
and
that, this
kitchen
radio?
once it's all done.
Yeah, I did, but it's a brief one. There's much more online, you know, if you want to pull it up.
Playing around in the living room, and our surround sound's not hooked up. But once it is, I'll probably take a video so it'll be easier than a picture. And I'll send it to you and show you everything in the kitchen.
It's a PhD dissertation.
Was it like 4 pages?
I don't know how many pages it was. It was about 60 or 70.
We're already connected down already. Connected to your node.
Yeah.
So if you just wanted to
Brand spanking new print cartridge. Brand new print cartridge. Ran it right out of
Llama la atención, ya tú sabes, no es cualquier cosa, algo ahí bien hecho, con dedicación ahí. Está bueno, ¿sabes? Algo ahí de lujo, vamos a decir. Ya tú sabes. Buena calidad y se ve.
Through this and
W8VPV.
That's okay.
All right, Roger. I get a chance there. As I can fumble around for the phone, I'll drop the W8WKY. So with that, we'll wave a hand from New York, and we'll say 73. Anybody there in Ohio?
Oh, really? That's not just a quick start?
Yeah, we'll leave a short pause in case there is somebody else out there, and then I'll go ahead and clear us from it. But
how much detail do you expect them to go into?
That,
well, if you go online,
leave a pause here. Well, let me leave a pause here right now.
Into detail.
Oh.
But I haven't done that. I'm learning as I go.
Well, Al and I are too.
Oh, Lord, yes.
Yeah, all right. With that, we'll go ahead and say 73 in Ohio. And,
even as old as you are, you're still learning.
KC3 KC5 RBG, and KE2BZX. We will all be clear.
Well, on that note, I got to use the little room next door.
I'll fall in. Nate, that's the ice.
Yeah, Marshall says that. Don't fall in.
I heard you, Walter. I caught you.
Yeah, well, I just walked out the front and around the side of the building here and do it.
KC3 KFC.
Yeah, same here. It's just as easy. Gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, how's it going there, Mike? Oh, man. Yeah, I just came back in from...
One trouble with it is when it was down in the zeros, it was pretty nippy.
And I was having trouble with the SWR beam. It was 1.5 or something like this, and I took off the counterpoise and replaced and also added a choke a little closer to it. And yeah, it's looking pretty well, and I was seeing if there's anybody out there that wanted to maybe see if they could hear me on 160. How are you doing?
That's right. We had, years ago, back when I was little, we had a friend around the corner there.
I'm not doing too bad myself. There's a couple of us out here. There's the better half of Miss Gay out here. Shannon RBG's out there, too.
Go down into the well.
I'd take you up and list me on 160 there, but I'm out here on the road right now, and I'm nowhere near the radio. Or I'd pick you up on that just to see what my setup would be. I'd have to do a couple of quick things there to turn the into a macaroni, and I should be able to get up onto 160 with no issue. But I'm working on getting something in the where to be able to operate.
Well, I'm hoping the rain or whatever it is holds off enough
Other than that, I'm doing well.
Tomorrow. It shouldn't be too hard to do.
A lot of time with the better half of last week.
Did a lot around the house. And
made it look much better. Much better. I don't think it's proper. Well, whatever.
Putting up TV antenna for a customer tomorrow.
We'll throw it over to Miss K there. BZX, KC3QC.
Pretty straightforward, though. Like I said, just probably about 15 foot up on a pole, and then I throw a chunk of pipe down in the ground and set the pole over it so don't kick out. And put a wall mount up on the soffit, then put the antenna above that.
Are those mason drives that we have? I'm trying to find color ones.
Going up with your DL and
Hi.
way, but I will tomorrow with that storm.
BZX. Hi, everybody.
I would like to get the locals down here in the shack.
KA4WDL, KA4WDL.
Well, I have an antenna, you know, regular antenna up here on the tower out here, but because I have the TVs in here, and when I want to test them to make sure, you know, if they're going to continue to run, so that's why I have that in here. So I have channels out here.
Yeah, very nice. So nice to meet you. I'm just was hopping on the repeater to see if there's anybody that can give me a listen. I did a couple tests, and
booster on it, and I think it'll pull.
He said it was all
it'll pull about
but I was kind of in the noise.
Right about 50 channels.
I'm thinking this should perform a little better. I was getting a little bit reflected power, now I'm getting almost 9.
We can get Toledo every once in a while when the conditions are right.
Pretty happy.
On my main TV inside.
Oh, wow.
If the conditions are right. Not very often.
WDL, KA4WDL, and 4PZ.
The antennas, these antennas I use, they're probably good 90 milers. That's all they're going to do, and that's all any of these TV antennas will do. You know, they can claim that 250 miles. Yeah, full.
I'll just they can claim all they want. What's the digital will go farther than analog from the old days, right?
Well, yes and no. It just depends on what they've done. I mean, everything basically switched to UHF. And there's still some VHF out there. Yeah, I think when they went to UHF, I do believe that some of these companies did increase their power.
Yeah, I'd love to help you there, Walter. Good stand by here. Here in the New York area, but like I said, we're moving along.
I'm still warming up, I think.
This big of a truck, I don't have any way to get up on that pin right now. I'm happy 2 meter, 440 only handheld.
But they don't work good up here.
TID
We're a little way too far away from everything.
All-Star node.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't expect those to work at all over here.
Rochester real quick. I can't remember if I rolled my car window up or not. We're supposed to be getting rain. Well, if I did, probably get stopped. I think it did, but I'm not 100% for certain. And trying to replay what I left. I had so much going on. I was in a pinch for time, and
it's 9:30. I'm going to get out of here.
I know the window was down, but I
pretty well. I'm not sure if everything, guys. Well, maybe up to maybe tomorrow night, but clearly not up you well.
No, you didn't roll it up.
I probably will disconnect everything.
I think I'm going to have to make a quick stop there and find out for sure. At least ease my mind a little bit. I hate those moments that you get when you do something. You know you have to do something.
What'd you say,
I can't remember if you actually did
Marshall?
it or not. But, I don't know. I'll check it.
Why? For what reason?
Eventually, if I can quick flip-flop a truck, I'll have 10 meters. 10 meters back in the truck. Section 10 anyway.
Well, I got here at 8 o'clock.
But we'll see what happens.
That's true. So, anyway, good night. 7-3s all the way around, and look for you tomorrow night if the weather permits. The group, this is W8MH GMO Memorial FlexNet. I am going clear and listening out.
Okay, I'm going to put the select switch in there. I think it's
What are you doing? And see you in the morning sometime.
And I'm going to tell you about the robot. I can't think what it was right now.
Okay.
But before then, it was
yeah, Bill, we'll
turn
get
around,
tomorrow night,
go all the
hopefully,
way
if the
back,
conditions are right.
see that the garage door is closed, and
we'll
then
be
call
clear
in
with
and let them know I'm going to be late for work. So, yeah, that's how that used to go. But luckily,
I'm going to hit the antenna tomorrow morning.
Turn around and hit the garage door open. So.
There's something else in the box besides that.
I'll probably switch in here a little bit. And
anyway,
I guess we're going to try to fiddle with that, see if we can't get it up a little higher for him.
K4WDL, W2BYT, over.
Back to him, right?
Yep, and I also have he wanted me to bring the spare bottles. I got them all sitting on the kitchen table.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, right here, Walt. We're going to go ahead and break off.
you what? Just get first off, it was on the bottom shelf of one of the benches down here.
I wasn't sure who
and all I did was get it upstairs to the kitchen table, which is right above my shack, is the kitchen, but I'm going to wait a little while to get that out to the truck, man.
Check on W8VPV. I don't know if he's out there or not.
I think it's a little bit of both. Yes, you are getting older.
He may or may not be. I just wanted to see who's all going to be around Monday night. I know there's no nets. Anyway, we'll say 73, see there, and yeah, we'll see if that is out there. W8VPV, KC32.
Roger,
I'm trying to get rid of this defensing of my receiver here and everything. It just, last time I was trying to use it, it didn't have any beat points. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you got a fuse on there I overlooked or what. Either. Pick it up, Doug. Many things causing that trouble.
Yeah, okay. Well, you guys are both solid in here. I'm hearing a little bit of wash from the station that's a little bit below us, but other than that...
here, guys, and go in the other room. So y'all take care. Have a good evening. We'll catch up with you later on. KC8BRT, this
combination needs to be realigned for the truck.
Up there on my tape.
Control 5-degree angle from it.
Yeah, because I did all the work I had to do around here.
I'm going to give you a club. Absolutely.
It gets a little better. We're supposed to get...
Hey. well, but the Bobcats got other dudes.
That was that. These lines were just coming down so close to the water, and I had to go out there on the ice with a ladder of all things. And but I got the. You saw how short I was when I tried to get it to come. It was kind of odd because I had to go over 2 trees, but when I went between the trees, you could see where I was about 7 or 8 feet short of being able to grab onto it, and I was on a 10-foot step ladder. So it was a little shaky out there, but then I was able to get it with another pull to pull it down. But yeah, I was a little tense there for a while.
You better be careful. Yeah. When you get opinions about anything, you're doing a great job.
Coming down from the top of the tree, just out of reach.
This is W3X.
Oh, very good, John. I appreciate that. I know at one time Aries had something like that going. I tried to use it a couple of times, and it was just exceedingly odd. But you had to have things, I think, pre-approved by your Aries coordinator before you could put them in or something. I don't remember the details, but it was very awkward, and I don't think anybody really ever used it. So hopefully this will be a little better. All right, let's see if there's anybody else out there. This is W8VPV looking for check-ins. Hi, Mike. How you doing tonight? thanks, Mike. Yeah, evening news was packed tonight. I was going to try somewhere else at the last minute. Big station came on, and I thought, nah, we'll just move up the band. So thanks for chasing us down, and hopefully somebody else got it. You're my third check-in tonight, so we're doing okay then. Let's see here. While we're at it, this is W8VPV looking for more check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night band exploration. I'm thinking 4 of us is going to be about it, so let me go ahead and run through the announcements real quick and wrap this nut up and get the frequency open to other people got more interesting things to do with it tonight. Coming up this Wednesday, get the right piece of paper here. Coming up this Wednesday, we'll be discussing in our club meeting more changes to the club, trying to get rid of some of the boring business meetings and that minutia. And Anthony will be doing a hands-on presentation of available SDR, tunable SDRs on the internet. It'll be an interesting one. You can hear HF signals throughout the world using these devices. Bring an internet-capable device, maybe some headphones or earbuds, and you can find instructions at tiny.cc/freerx. Newsletter articles due in the next day or two. If you got something for our newsletter, send it to newslettereditor@cpark.org. March business meeting be 3/13, that's a Wednesday. We want to formally propose these changes to our constitutional bylaws to change the operations of the club and simplify it, but we need a quorum to begin the process of amending the Constitution and bylaws to do that. So hopefully you'll be able to attend either in person or in Zoom. Either mode is familiar. And then finally, we're looking for volunteers to help with our Hamfest coming up on April 13th. So if you feel like doing that, please go to our club website, cpark.org, and signing up. All right, that's all the announcements I have. Do we have any last check-ins?
KE8TQR, Keith in Uniontown.
KE8TQR. I was wondering if I was going to get you, Keith. How you doing? You're coming in pretty good.
Well, Frank, you're real hard to hear right at the moment. You're putting out about an S5 on my meter. I hope I have this thing tuned up right. But I've been listening, and I'm jumping in here. So hopefully, like I said, I've got it tuned up right, and I'm not just putting a lot of noise in your ears.
Not at all, Keith. You're coming through real good. It's real noisy here, but you're an S9, about 4 units or so above the noise. So no trouble copying, and I'm glad you took the time to chase us down. Anything else for the net?
November 8, Mike Kilowatt Radio, John in Ellett.
All right, Mike Kilowatt Radio, stand by 1 second. Did you have anything else for us, Keith?
No, that's all I had, Frank. I just wanted to jump in here. I was listening to you over on the CPark repeater, and I know you moved a couple times, but I made it, and I think it's tuned in right, so I'm just happy to be here. It's good hearing you tonight, and I'll be stopping back on some of the other Monday night nets when you're on HF as well. So this is KE8TQR. I'm clear.
Very good. Welcome to HF again. All right, the Mike Kilowatt Radio Station. Go ahead again, sir.
Roger. Keith, I'm sorry if I spoke out of turn. I thought Frank had put a call out for another check-in. And I also am having trouble hearing him. But this is November 8th, Mike Kilowatt Radio, N8MKR in Ellett, checking into the net for the first time tonight.
Oh, very good. What's your name, please?
The name is John, Juliet Oscar Hotel November.
Well, John, welcome to our net. We do, of course, a VHF, UHF net earlier in the evening, and then to have our members keep their radios and antenna systems frequency agile, we do a what we call a band exploration plus 6 net, or HF plus 6 net. We'll pick a band and a frequency once each Monday on the month and do that.
We do 6 meters, 10 meters, 40 meters, and week 4 is the 80 meter net. You caught us there, so very good. Good to hear you. Don't be a stranger. You got a great signal here up into, I'm on the north end of Cuyahoga Falls, so not real far at all. Probably still ground wave, but what you got there for an antenna and a radio?
The antenna here is a G5RV, an old school G5RV that I bought at AES back in the day. And the rig is a Kenwood TS450.
Very good, very good. G5RV is a dependable multi-band antenna. I've seen a number of them, and it's a good, dependable antenna. And of course, the TS430 is a well-known rig. Well, you got a great signal here in Cuyahoga Falls. Let's see here. We start on, I'd have to look at our calendar. We do this net every 9:30 every Monday evening. Different bands. If you go to our website, cfarc.org, CFARC, as in Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club.org. There's a calendar on the right side, and you'll catch us on different bands at different times. As I say, 10, 6, and 80 and 40, and then when we have a fifth Wednesday, it's a wild card. We'll be on 160 or 30 or 12 or something. We'll find something to do. So just to see if we got antennas and radios that'll cover it then. So thanks for checking in, and hope to hear you down the page, John. Anything last for the net?
Nope, that's all I've got. Thank you for taking my check-in. I am a CFARC member, by the way. I'm just not very active, but good to catch you on the net tonight. 7-3, this is N8MKR.
Very good, John. Good hearing you in there, and appreciate your membership. And we do Zoom our meetings now, so if you just want to sit in and see what we're doing, you might find something interesting. Hopefully you will find something interesting. So thanks for checking in then. All right, this is Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night Net. Do we have any last check-ins? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
W3X with a comment.
Yes, go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was picking up both Keith and John there, 10 over 9 here. And next Monday, I will be the net control station, actually the next 2 Mondays, I'll be the net control station for the band exploration net starting at 9:30. And so next Monday, it will be on 6 meters on 50.270 megahertz plus or minus QRM, and that'll be upper sideband. And then the following Monday, the second Monday, I will be on 10 meters, and that will be on 28.360 megahertz upper sideband. So back to the net, this is W3X.
All right, thanks, John. Appreciate that. If anybody wants to come back to that, go ahead. All right, do we have any last check-ins? None heard. We'll wrap this up then. In preparing to close this net, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been Frank, W8ECT, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I'll close this net with 6 check-ins, myself included, and return this frequency to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 9:46 p.m. 73 all. Hey, Mike, not a whole lot. Just sitting here scrambling around trying to get my house downsized and get some of this stuff cleaned up and deal with mechanical stuff. Got a truck that's making a nice growing whining sound. It's going to limit my attendance at the Hamfest coming up here in a couple of weeks. Yes, it is. It's I'm thinking something with a transfer case. I had the fluids replaced, and one was a little low, but neither one was really that bad, and it's still whining away. So I've got an appointment over here at Jim's Transmission. I'll go ahead and try to get that in and done. But the earliest they could take me was March 8th, and the Hamfest is the 10th. None at all. 52,000. It's a 10, but it's very low mileage. And I've heard this thing starting up. I probably heard it in December and January as I was driving it around. And I finally said I better get something done with it. I took it into a place that couldn't figure out what it was, but they were going to replace the fluids for me. Well, that didn't help. So, and there was no real leakage I could see anyway. So it sits until I get a chance to get it in there. For the Hamfest, I might just throw a couple of bins into the trunk. I've got a car I'm borrowing. Throw a couple of bins of stuff into a trunk and bring it along and just have maybe a table or two, but won't be able to do as much as I normally do. Well, this is the Lorraine Hamfest. I'm going to try to have it up and operational by Toledo. I was going to try to haul a trailer in to Toledo, but it just may be a bed full of stuff. And then, of course, at our Hamfest, I'm going to spread out over several tables and try to unload stuff. You don't need any aviation strobe lights, do you? These are big, bright helical tubes, 2.5, 3 turn, use a couple of kilovolts and some big capacitors. Someone's ringing my phone. Using lots of big capacitors. It might have been at the end of runways. I used them many, many years ago when I was doing some lighting effects. And while digging through my basement, I found about 30 of them left over. I put a high voltage on one of them, and it still glows, so I think they're still at, well, not vacuum, but they've got the xenon gas mix in there.
KE8TQR.
GQR, go ahead.
Just jumping in here, guys. I hear Mike over there, and you, Frank. I'm just listening to you guys talk. Sorry to hear about your truck, Frank.
I appreciate it. It is what it is. It's 10 years old, 13 years old now, but only 52,000 miles on it, so it's one of those things where you just stuff some money in there and the problem goes away. But yeah, it's going to impact Hamfest doing for a little bit. Let's see here. Where was I'll hand it back to you or Mike. I heard a phone call back there. I want to go check the message real quick. I'll be back in just a minute. W8VPV.
I actually heard myself the other day, Mike. John and I were talking on 40 meters, and this fella jumped in from Michigan, and he actually played back our transmissions. It was really cool. Excellent. I'd like to hear it. John may be out there somewhere. N8MKR, are you there?
Yes, I am, but I didn't want to interfere with Frank answers to Mr. Kinky Radio. I wasn't going to get in his way.
That's just because my antenna's bent.
Oh my gosh, Frank, that was my nickname back in the day. I've known Mike since I was brand new in ham radio in my 20s.
And that's what all the guys that were brand new back then called me for my phonetics, N8 Mr. Kinky Radio. I was a swinging bachelor back then, you know, a little more wild.
Very good, very good. That does kind of sound familiar. I've known Mike since, gosh, when was it? I remember going down a date with you in maybe the early 70s. I think I was in college then, maybe last year in high school or something. So that would have been 70, 71, something like that. But very good, very good. That's great to hear some people in here tonight. Yeah, you got I think it was a Lafayette 6-meter radio transistorized, because that's still pretty new then, that needed some help, but you said you got a really good deal on it. Yeah, I thought you said you knew what was wrong with it, but this is 50-year-old memories now. Understand, and those are the days when getting the right transistor and getting it adjusted properly was not just plug and play like tubes. You really had to make sure it was matched and biased properly, or it would go up in smoke also. And those things were expensive back then.
Hey Frank, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Does the CFARC group know of anyone going down to the Hamfest this year? Maybe a bus or something?
I'm pretty sure there's no bus from this area going down. I know a guy who tried to coordinate it last year, and I don't think he could get enough people. Silver Creek Amateur Radio Club was coordinating it. In the past, I believe the Cars Group, Cuyahoga Amateur Radio Society, has done a bus trip, but I have not heard directly about it this year. I'm sitting here vacillating between trying to go down there myself or not. I should, but I always come back with stuff I don't need, and I'm trying to downsize, so it's like a bad addiction.
Well, I was out at the Sarah Club meeting here a week or so ago, and they had looked in for a bus, but they weren't able to get a full-size bus. All they were going to get is one of the mini buses. I'm not sure which one. I don't even want to think about it, a small bus, but the thing with that is there would be no room to bring anything back, and the cost would be prohibitive, so I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I've not heard of any myself, but you might Google the Cars Club, find their website, and see if they're sponsoring a bus trip. I don't know if John Grazoulis, W8VPV is still in there or not, but he's on a lot of other nets, and he may be aware of anything. John, are you still in there, W8VPV?
Yeah, I'm still in here, but yeah, the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association hasn't mentioned any bus yet.
Yeah, it's getting almost too late to set those up. That's something you do 4 to 6 months in advance.
Yeah, and they weren't able to get enough people for it, and so Russ, KDADYT ended up paying for the empty seats.
Wow, the club should have taken that, should have eaten that. That should have been his personal responsibility at all. It was good enough of him to offer to do it, to coordinate it. Geez, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, maybe they did, after the fact. that's how they got that bus trip to go by him buying it was like 3 or 4 extra seats that he bought that weren't occupied.
Okay, well, at least it got down there that one year. And it is what it is. It's tough to get a big group together like that and get it coordinated, but very good. Well, thanks, John. Appreciate it. Just thought I'd mention it in there. Hope that answers the question. Yeah, I think it's too late. They tried that and it didn't fly, so that's it. I don't know about cars yet. I'm sorry. I was thinking Silver Creek. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do a quick search here.
Well, I want to go because the last 2 years I've missed, so I'm hoping somebody have a bus, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We'll have to find a group going down or something. But anyway, hey John, N8MKR, are you still with us?
Roger that. I am definitely still with you. N8MKR, just copy in the mail, like we used to say back in the day.
Don't want to leave anybody out on this group discussion.
Well, I don't know. I'm still fooling with my phone, but yeah. Anyhow, Mike, it's good to hear you on the air. Boy, oh boy, it's just good to hear you on the air. Well, I'll tell you, Keith and I have had a number of antenna parties. He's been on my roof more than once, and he's been a blessing. Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether I want to put my 220 antenna in the attic or throw it up on the roof. I'm still thinking about that. I have a J-pole. I bought it from Mike Martin's KB9 VBR, and it's ready to go. So I probably should just get it up there. I have coax, I think. I think I have plenty. I need to just get it done, I guess. I don't know. What do you think, Keith? I know Mike's right, but I think that when Keith was over here last on the roof in the hot summer, he was the one breaking the bead. I was taking it easy down on the ground.
No, it wasn't that big of a deal, and I wasn't up there that long, John, but it was great to help you. I just wondered, you've got that J-pole. What do you think about putting like a cross piece on that section of tower you have and putting the J-pole on that and then running your coax into the house? The J-pole doesn't have to be inside in the attic, does it?
No, I had just thought about putting it up there just because. That was originally my plan before I put any antennas up on the outside. Just thinking out loud. No, I was thinking maybe the stink pipe, Keith. You know, that J-pole is small. One bracket would do it. I'm thinking of putting up a 10-meter vertical on another one of the vent pipes up there, and then I think I'm done, pretty much.
Well, whatever you want to do. Yeah, it is a lot of work. Just make sure you have everything ready for people to come over, because you don't want to be standing there going, well, I wish I'd got that up before you all got here. And they're all looking at you like, why weren't you ready? But, yeah, we'll be having an antenna party this summer sometime, because I've got 2 more sections that got to go up.
I think they call that an erection party. What do you think, Mike? Starting to sound like old times again.
Frank, we didn't leave you out, did we?
No, I'm sitting here laughing so hard, it's hard to get back in. Then I grabbed the wrong microphone. No, I'm going to step away for a few minutes. This is trash night, and I got to get the trash out and reconnect the sump pump. Believe it or not, I have outside sump pumps because we got rain coming tomorrow. So if you're still back in here in about 10 minutes, I'll hop back in. But good hearing you all in there, and I'll have a good one, Mike. Good talking to you as always. And I'll start listening on 220 rig again, see if I can catch up there some evening. W8VPV, I'll be clear at least for the time being.
Take care, Frank. Good talking to you all over the next night. We will talk to you down the log.
Good night, Frank. Good talking to you tonight.
This is W3X.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, also, I let Sam know we were here. He would join us, and he may yet, but he has, Wes was going to be calling him. I asked him to tune in and listen a little bit before Wes called him. But I'm glad he texted me, and I checked in on the Patriot Net tonight. Mike, about a different band. I don't know. I'd harken back to when I was brand new in radio, and we were listening to 80 meters. There was a group on 3898. They were notorious. There was nothing they wouldn't say. Do you remember? They were an interesting crowd. Tough to get into, too. They didn't cut a lot of slack. I can recount conversations that I wouldn't repeat again on the air today. But, Keith, it was a free-for-all. There were a couple of good old boys, a handful of them, round table. And 3898, that's where they were. And I'd love tuning into them. I tried to check in when I got my general. And I checked in as N8MKR stroke AG. And one of the guys said, I heard a stroke out there. Oh, I don't know that they welcomed me in. They didn't really care much about what I had to say, but I sure enjoyed listening to them.
Hey, John, your last transmission, I think there was somebody underneath you. I wonder if that's Sam trying to come in.
No, this is W3X. I'm going to be clear. Yeah, good night, Keith and John. This is, and Mike. This is W3X. I'll be clear.
Good night, sir. N8MKR.
W03X. Good night, John. KE8TQR.
Mike's right. I'd forgotten about that. You kind of had to impress him with a signal, Keith.
Well, I'm not out here to impress anybody. I'm just out here to listen and talk, so I'll just move on.
I don't remember them. Sounds spicy. What do you think, Keith?
And here I was thinking that amateur radio was clean. It doesn't make any difference where you are. Somebody's going to mess it up somehow. That's the time you want to move on down the dial. Well, gentlemen, that was a perfect double. You talked over each other.
Go ahead, Mike. Your turn. An eccentric type. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm very good. I was saying when we doubled that I thought that we used to get a little bit spicy on 22394 back in the day. There weren't very many people listening there.
Well, I'm going to have to spend more time on the bands just to hear some of these spicy conversations. But, John, I take it you were over on the Texas Patriots tonight?
I was. I got my turn right after you. I think I heard you talk. I think. I'm not sure. I think I did. But I didn't check in. I didn't check in over the radio. I checked in on NetLogger, and then Wes called on me very shortly after I got in there.
I was in there about 25 after 8, I think it is. And I did stick around for a little bit. I did hear them put out the call for the silent key.
Yeah, Butch was a shaker and mover down there. I think he had a lot to do with the Wires X network and repeater systems down there. He was a player. But I don't know a whole lot more about him.
I don't think I ever talked to him, but I've heard that a couple different times on different nets, and I have to say that is extremely moving when they do that, because you know that all you're going to get back is static. And I guess I don't think I've ever heard Butch, but there was a lot of people that they're going to miss him. So, but that is it's just very moving when they do that. I find it.
Yeah, it's a fun group. Mike, we talked to a group of guys on a Wires X room called U.S. Texas Patriots, and I access with a Pi-Star unit through a reflector, but there's a net there every Monday night, and Keith and I checked in tonight. I've been talking to those guys for a minute. I don't know what you've heard, Keith, but I've heard a little bit of chatter, but nothing to speak of. They're around the Houston and San Antonio area. I spoke with one of the San Antonio guys. He's actually from up here. He lives down there now. N8IQT. Doug. He anyway, he's talking about the border invasion, but for the most part, I think they're a little bit ways away from that. Have you heard any different, Keith?
I've heard very few people talk about it. Nothing that I can remember offhand. It's mostly just people just getting on the net and telling what they did for the day. Yeah, that's about all I heard. But back to you, Mike.
No, November 8 IQT. I don't think that he's that way by any stretch. Yeah, I'm not going to want to hear it when people that think I'm just full of it come back around and say, "Man, you were right." Yeah, I'm going to say, "Keep it moving. Keep it moving."
going to tell us anything about what's happening on that border, because as far as they're concerned, it's closed.
Safe and secure.
Speaking of that, Mike, I was on the Wolverine net the other night when we were having, last Thursday, when we were having those solar flares, and right in the middle of the net, they had a Class X solar flare, and the whole net went down. Well, that was my initiation into solar flares, so. But anyway, it was a good example of what happens when the sun does what it does. But, oh yeah, great. But it doesn't happen that much, I don't think it does anyway. I don't know. But, yeah, it was quiet. All of a sudden, just everything was gone.
Yes, they do.
Yes, we do. Well, in fact, just the other day, John and I got on GMRS. I wanted to test out the GP15. I got up on the 3 tower sections, and we were at a couple different GMRS stations, and I'm quite impressed with the way it works. So, yeah, I should be doing a little bit more of that. It's what I started out on, and that's what John and I were doing, and then I got into ham, but GMRS is quiet, but there is some stuff. In fact, when we were on that day, John, we run into a couple different people.
You know, it's tough to get on GMRS. There aren't any, well, there are few really good repeaters. Bob's repeater is good, but it doesn't look down this way very well. We don't really have any great repeaters. If we could have one where the 22394 repeater was, or where Jason has his repeater antenna, boy, oh boy, we'd have something there. It'd make nice GMRS coverage. It's crying out for a good repeater site and a good repeater. There's one set up here in Springfield Township somewhere, but I can't even hit it on my HT from my house. Problem is that I think a lot of the repeaters that go up are real low profile. There aren't many high profile repeaters. But on your base antenna, you can work Bob JOI's GMRS repeater. It's very popular. he has a lot of users on there and some regulars. It's I told him a couple of times, Bob, you got to listen. There are people talking on there, and you can catch him on there now and then. I was not familiar with that. Is that 146.76? I'm just not familiar with that. I do talk on his UHF repeater, but not very often. It looks the wrong way for me, and I can't hit it until I'm halfway to Richfield. I work in Richfield. I'll talk on Jason's repeater. It'll walk me all the way through to my parking spot on 443-7875.
I heard Andrew on there a little bit ago at AB8MO. He was on the Chardon repeater, so he was on the trifecta.
Well, to put it in perspective, I can't hit his GMRS repeater, either of the repeaters, from my house or in the driveway on an HT. But there are guys that are regulars on his GMRS repeater that are in Macedonia and can travel to the other side of Cleveland and work it on their HT. It just doesn't look down this way.
I doubled with you, Mike.
I heard both of you pretty good, but obviously Mike didn't hear you, Keith.
I said I've been kicking around putting up a GMRS repeater on the tower. Midland makes one, and I don't know how good it is, but it's just something I had thought about doing later on. That I'm not sure. Do you know, John?
Yes, I do. 50 watts. 50 watts. You can run on the repeater channel.
Well, I think if I put one on the tower when it's 50 feet, I am in a little bit of a high elevation, not real high, but I think it would do a good job. It would boost some of the signals in the area.
You know, that makes me think of something, Keith. I mean, to relate a story to Mike. The last time Keith and I worked some GMRS simplex, we were really happy with the way his current antenna, which is newer, performed on GMRS. It was really good. In fact, our friend Rita, who lives a couple blocks away from me, was able to hear him and talk back to him with her HT. makes me think with a really good antenna on top of Keith's tower and some great coax, it might be pretty special.
Well, like I said, this is what I started out on was GMRS, and I know we don't have a lot of repeaters in the area. It has been in my mind to do it. Midland does make one. It's about $650 for the whole kit and caboodle, and it's in my mind to do it. It might actually happen, so I'll let you know. Go ahead, John.
All right. I'm curious. I've never really thought about the elevation where Keith is. I don't know if he's in a low area or a high area or average. What kind of antenna would suit him best? What kind of radiation pattern? I guess it's something to think about if you're going to put up something that you want to be a high performer like that. Yeah, I don't know, but a nice gain antenna with a good radiation pattern that fit the topography there would be nice. Heck, if Rita could talk to your tri-band antenna, Keith, with her HT, it wasn't perfect, but she had to get you in the right spot. But she could do it. She sounded good. I believe both of you sounded good to each other. So there we go. Whoever's next, N8MKR.
Well, the next time I talk with N8LTR, and I will discuss it with him to see what else I can put up on that tower and where I can put it. I don't want it to interfere with any of the HF antennas I got going up, and I know they can interfere with each other, so it'll have to be something I discuss with him. But it's saved on my desktop here, and I look at it every now and then. And I'm waiting for them to send me a nice email saying, we're giving you 25% off. But Midland, I don't think is too easy with those coupons. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I could use a coupon. Hell, I could use a grant.
Yeah, I found out what that noise was when Bill was over here the other day. That's somebody tuning up his radio. Well, that's not the way Bill showed me how to do it. Oh, well, I hope I don't sound that way all the time. But, Okay, Mike, this is really great. I'm usually talking to you on 220, but here we are in HF, and this is great. It's too bad we don't have an LTR in here with us.
We could send him a text.
I thought about it.
I did send Sam a text. I have a friend up in Orange, Connecticut. He may join us here. It's hard to say. He's been on a phone call, and I don't know if he's listening or not, but his name's Sam, KC1OGG, old grumpy guy. Sounds like the perfect time to let him know where the roundtable's taking place. Hey, you know something, Mike, as I was remembering back to some of our steamier conversations back in the day, do you remember when Fred, KBHACV, would get to going? And he was a joy to listen to. He's still about the same. I talked to him the other day. He called me on the phone. I feel it. I had nonstop phone calls tonight. I was trying to work on tax return, and I just packaged it up and put it away. I'm going to come back at it tomorrow after work.
Let's take a break here, fellas. I think Bill's trying to get in.
Oh, I'm here. And LTR, good evening.
There he is.
Good evening, Bill. That's a fine sounding radio you got there.
Well, it's a bit of a cheapie, if you want my honest opinion. I've heard this thing on 6 meters, and it's kind of tinny sounding. This is a quite old Alinco DX70TH. So it's a mobile rig, and it feeds a matching long wire tuner bolted on the outside of the wall outside the house here. And I've probably got about 100 or 110 feet of wire on it. Go ahead.
Sounds good.
Sounds good here.
Yeah, I like the sound of my Kenwood 850 a little bit better. I've heard both. But good evening, guys. What possessed you to hop over to 75?
Where the cool guys hang out.
We started here on the CFARC net. They were on. They were down a little bit lower, but there was too many people on, so they moved up here to 38, 33, and we just sort of continued after the net.
Oh, that's right. Today was Monday, and oh my, 10:30 already. All right, I got involved in reading some stuff online. A couple hours went by, and I wasn't looking. So yeah. Oh, so are you fixing the ills of the world on this net? Oh, good. Plenty of work left for me to do.
That's why we gave you a holler.
We were just talking about how, we don't think that Joe Biden's getting a fair shake, that people are just too hard on him.
Oh, Joe Biden, the walking cadaver? Yeah.
Oh my God, Bill, that reminds me. Do you remember Rush Limbaugh used to remember that guy in Congress, Al Cranston? Rush Limbaugh used to call him Cadaver Cranston.
Yeah, I do remember that name. Oh my. Yeah, but well, I was surprised he didn't have one for Potted Pelosi. Man, every time they zoom in on her, she's swaying in her seat. She's so scotched, it's not funny.
I've heard her called 90 Proof Nancy before.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty close. Hey, at least you don't have to worry about blood coagulation. Not with that much solvent in their blood.
Mike, Keith?
In there, because I don't want to step on anybody. I wonder if Frank ever came back from taking out the trash. They must have got busy.
It sounds pretty quiet. I don't, they keep talking about thunderstorms, and they got us in a kind of a heightened awareness areas on the outlook, but I don't hear any static.
Night, but the band has been busy because I know they were scrolling up and down to try to find some place to get the CFARC net in here.
When they go up on 10 meters, I can barely hear them. I hit, a quick auto-tune to Swire, but and they don't come in so hot. Oh my, yeah, I'm not long for this world, man. I think I'm gonna hit the hay, and not immediately, but in a little while here, and then I got a couple doctor's appointments, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, so that'll kind of wipe out that day tomorrow. Mike, what you been up to? Saving the world or enhancing its demise? Okay. Well, whenever Keith needs some exercise, he can just move his power supply from one side of the station to the other and then move it back. That'll give him plenty of exercise.
I do not plan on picking that beast up anytime soon. Mike and Bill, you both doubled.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Keith's got his son there to handle the heavy lifting. It's a good job for him.
Good. Don't I wish? Hey, Bill, one of the conversations we were having was GMRS, and I was telling Mike and John that Midland puts out a GMRS rig, antenna, and repeater. And I wanted to, one of these days, you and I have to sit down and talk that over, maybe putting that on my tower.
Yeah, okay, that's no problem. Yeah, the only GMRS capability I have are some little Midland handhelds that I bought primarily for deer hunting to keep in touch with a couple buddies that I used to hunt with. But that's it. I don't have any, mobile radios or base radios or anything for the GMRS frequencies.
Well, I think I told you the other day that John and I tested out my tri-bander we got up there on the antenna, or out on the tower, that GP15, and it worked really well. So, but we were talking about that this evening, and it's saved on my desktop, and I look at it every now and then. But Midland's not much for putting out 25% off coupons.
Yeah, probably not, but I've seen a couple of 440 antennas that will they'll have a secondary peaks either side of the band. Sometimes some of them, apparently that one's got a nice or anyway reasonable SWR at 460 whatever it is in change, 464 or something like that. So, good deal anyway. If you can dual use it, more's the merrier.
It's a thought I've had, just to put something like that out there to give a little bit more for GMRS. I know there's not a lot of people on it, but like John and I were telling Mike, that it seems to be getting a little bit more than what it was even a year ago.
Well, it's always good to have the capabilities, because inevitably there's a mad scramble for an open channel when something really serious hits the community. Repeaters that haven't been used in a century, all of a sudden are 100% duty cycle. It kind of gets that way. So, all right. Well, I didn't unhook any of the antennas because I was not seeing or hearing any spits and popping on the Lightning app. So I think I'll just go to bed and leave the Lightning app to wake me up if anything gets within 50 miles, and then I'll see how bad it is and see if I need to unplug anything. Mike, are you on that G5RV? Is that what you're using? Okay. Just with the onboard trimmer, or is it good enough that you can go direct? I mean, is the SWR sufficient where you don't need the Kenwood's or your onboard trimmer on your HF rig? Okay. All right. Yeah, good enough. Yeah, yeah, you're on Flex. I was thinking you were on Kenwood, but that's John. That's not you. Oh, yeah. It's been a long day, and I'm getting tired. Tired or tireder. How about that?
We didn't lose you, did we, John?
No, sir. N8MKR?
There's the guy I was thinking of. The guy with the antenna that's now higher up, I understand. They got a little antenna surgery in the last couple months.
Yes, I did. My son-in-law and his buddy Kyle came over, and I was tired. I didn't want any part of it, but they were insistent on having an antenna party, and we really got it up there. It's nice now.
Good. Yeah. Well, no substitute for height. That's for certain. Oh boy. Yeah, I've got the dipoles up for you as high as I'm going to be able to get them, and the club dipole project just got done. The off-center fed, but it's got like, I swear to God, it's like 12 gauge solid copper on it that weighs a freaking ton. I thought, who put this wire specification on here? So, but it's up, and so far so good, and it works well on 20 meters, and that's where I needed coverage. And I have an anxious Kit Kat prowling around the bed. That probably means he wants food.
We called Bill on the radio.
That was a triple. Go ahead, Keith.
I was remarking that 220 seemed to come alive right after we called you. John and Ted are on there right at the moment.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of that. I had to turn the volume down so I could hear this one. But, well, now what? Okay. Well, go ahead, guys. I'm going to take about a minute cat break, figure out what he wants.
Go ahead, Mike. Ted, PRK. Well, they must have all been lurking out there. When I called Bill, they just sort of jumped on. But there they are. I'm watching the signal strength. I don't have the volume up.
I need to loan Ted my 130 watt 220 brick. Ted, I may load Ted the beam too, and just put the brick into the beam, aim it right at the guy's TV antenna, and let him have it.
You're a bad man, Bill.
You're not the first person that said that. That is a very valid point. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there with marginal morals and hair trigger tempers.
is not hard to do.
Oh, come on now, you guys. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that works equally well with me, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know which. Oh, yeah. There's on the days when I got to control the blood pressure a little bit, I leave the TV off, and it's a good day.
I've had a good day because I haven't watched any television and I haven't really looked at the internet.
Yeah, you're right. You've had a good day, Sir Ted. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to hit the sack because I've got to get up and go see the good doctor up in Akron tomorrow morning, and then the one down here in the afternoon. So I'll say nighty-night and have fun. We'll have to do this again. And, yeah, we'll talk soon. So go ahead, Keith, take it and continue the round robin, and I'll say 7-3s and bow out for the evening. N8LTR. Good night, guys.
All right, Bill. Glad you could jump over here. You have a great evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. N8LTR, KEATQR. And gentlemen, it has been wonderful, and I'm going to do the same thing as Bill. It's time for me to head upstairs and take care of some of the things up there before I go to bed. So I'm going to say good evening as well. John, Mike, it's been great little QSO here with you guys. And I hope both of you have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk again later. And, John, maybe we don't need a 220 as long as we have HF. So, WB8CXO, N8MKR, almost had Bills in there. This is KEATQR. Good evening, guys, and 73, and I'll be clear on your finals.
I think so. I don't really want to, but I know I need to. Bill, good night. Good talking to you. If you're in the neighborhood, feel free to drive by. You can take a peek at the antenna. You're welcome to pop in if you let me know you're there. I'm going to be working from home tomorrow. It's going to be rainy, though. But you're welcome to drive by and look and see where we have the antenna strung up. Have a good night. Mike, I think it would be the better part of prudence here to go to bed, and I think I'm going to do that. I've got a big day tomorrow, and nothing like getting to bed a little bit early. I was planning on turning in at midnight, but I'm tired. Sounds good, Mike. Great to hear you in there tonight. And I wish my buddy Sam could have joined us. Maybe we'll invite him again next time. But this has been fun. I'm glad we got to do this. Keep me in mind next time. I can turn the radio on about any time, like I did tonight. Take care. WB8CXO, N8MKR.
W8WKY. The time is 11 p.m.
WHDES repeater.